Welcome to the Building Texas Business Podcast, where we share stories of leadership, innovation, and success from business leaders who know what it takes to build great organizations. Building Texas Business is brought to you by Boyer Miller, providing counsel beyond expectations. Learn more about how Boyer Miller helps businesses navigate opportunity and growth with clarity and confidence at boyermiller.com. Now, here's your host, Chris Hanslik.
In this episode, you will meet Andy Weiner, CEO and founder of RockStep Capital. Andy explains how he has created what he describes as a fierce culture by having everyone in his company adhere to 25 RockSteps. Andy, thanks for taking time to come on Building Texas Business.
Excited to be here, Chris.
So looking forward to hearing your story. So let's start by just kind of telling everyone what it is your company does and what it's known for.
So RockStep Capital, we've been in business 28 years. We are a shopping center investment company. So we invest in shopping centers in what we call hometowns throughout the United States. We're in 11 states right now. We have built or acquired about 10 million square feet of shopping centers.
Wow. Okay. What was it that I guess had you focus on shopping centers as a strategy?
So my family, my grandfather actually started Weiner's stores.
Oh,
I don't know
sure.
if you remember Weiner's.
Of course.
We had 159 stores. I ran the operations for the company.
Okay.
Okay. And so I learned about retail, I was in charge of the stores, in charge of real estate, finance, systems, accounting, HR. And so I kind of grew up in retail, grew up in the family business. And then we did a Chapter 29. Do you know what a Chapter 29 is?
I do not.
We did 2 11s and a 7. Okay. So we came out of 11,
Okay.
went 11, came out, and then did a 7. Okay.
Well, that gives you a lot of
We
experience.
get a lot of
doesn't it?
experience. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the lessons learned. And so I started doing shopping center investing in 1997 and have been doing it since then.
Okay. Very good. So sounds like not only in Rock Capital, you were running a business well before that, but just
As a retail business.
Yeah.
So I ran all the stores and, I've been in thousands of stores and thousands of markets and thousands of shopping centers. And so done a lot of that and really been kind of out there touching, getting gritty with the markets and with the properties.
Oh, very interesting. So in that 1997, I think you said,
Yeah.
what was it that got you started to kind of make that pivot into real estate investment?
Well, I knew that I wanted to do something in real estate, and my closest friend is a guy named Brad Schlosser,
Okay.
and Brad was already in the business, and he decided to partner with me for the first 3, 4, 5 years just to learn the business, and it was a learning experience. I didn't
Sure.
know that in shopping center development there's no income for a year or two until you find and build something, and I ended up starting with Walmart.
Okay.
We ended up doing 4 Walmart deals in the Houston region, big kind of power centers, one up north, 3 south. And Walmart was one of the reasons why we went out of business at the family business. We
Oh,
competed with
yeah.
Walmart, yet they were our first client.
There's some irony there, right?
There's a lot of irony. And they're a great company. I love Walmart. And so we ended up doing these 30 to 100 acre projects where Walmart took a piece. And we built a Kohl's or Ross vertical. We did ground leases. We did pads,
Okay.
put in the utilities, pure development. And then I started doing business by accident in Navasota. I wanted to do a Walmart relocation in Navasota near College Station.
Sure.
And a company called Tractor Supply
Yeah.
wanted the same site. So I started a relationship with Tractor Supply, the country's largest farm and ranch store. And they gave me an assignment of Southeast Texas and Southern Louisiana, small towns. And so I started working in these smaller communities and I found out great place to do business.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I reoriented the geography of our business to be in secondary and tertiary markets, which we call hometowns.
Okay.
And our business is today centered on finding great shopping center investments in hometown America. And we named our fund Hometown America.
I love it. Well, the thing that I love most about that is you identified kind of a neglected market and built a business around it, where there's absolutely demand, I would think, and a need for newer shopping and
Sure.
centers and retail centers. Uh, so you go into real estate investment and then you kind of identify this unique opportunity. How have you then kind of built the company to support, uh, your goals, your vision for the
Sure.
company?
So we started in these hometowns, and then the GFC, the Great Financial Crash, 2008 came, and that was a pivot as well. So we decided that uh, second generation space, buying existing shopping centers in small towns, was a good business because one, you couldn't get new construction
Couldn't get a
done,
loan, right?
couldn't get a loan, couldn't get new construction done, and so we started in Vicksburg, Mississippi,
Okay.
second biggest battle in the Civil War, the Battle of Vicksburg, July 4th, 1863, and we bought an empty Kroger, and we bought an empty a mall next to it from CBL. We
Okay.
bought two properties at the same time. TJ Maxx was wanting to go in one of the two. We bought them both. Okay, and we decided that we were going to need equity, and we started raising equity with a strategy we still have today, and that is when we go into a hometown, we do two things. We get local investors, local business leaders to be
Okay.
part of the equity alongside my equity and our other investor equity. And then we'll get a local lender, a community bank lender that has a heart and a feel for the community to be that lender. And we've replicated that around the United States. We're the only one in the country to really focus on a strategy of community tie-in.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Getting
you're not the
local.
big outsider carpetbagger
Well,
coming in.
look, we know how to run a shopping center. We know how to underwrite it. We know how to do property management and leasing. But there are aspects that affect how a shopping center performs that are community based. Incentives, entitlements, property taxes. Our investors are on the board of the community college or the hospital district. So they're effectively deputized leasing agents
Mm,
for alternative uses.
right.
They know what's going on.
Yeah.
They know what's going on. And
And
so,
they have a financial interest to
absolutely.
lease it up.
And so we're about to open a $50 million hockey arena in one of our shopping centers in Wisconsin. We're going to the opening next week. And one of our investors was instrumental in helping get the shopping center at our location.
Wow.
Okay, one of our local investors. So that's an
Yeah.
example. Helps with property taxes. It's a lot of fun. You build a great network. They want to invest locally in an asset that's important to the community with an institutional type of operation.
Yeah. And I mean, the connections you're making, can imagine then
Yeah.
they bring you other opportunities that might exist within the community.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
So you don't do it yourself. I mean, over time, I assume you built a team out to
Yeah.
help with the
Yeah,
analytics,
so
prospecting.
we're vertically integrated. So we have everything in house. We
Okay.
have acquisitions, analysis, financial analysts. We have our own accounting, finance, leasing, property management, construction management. We have about 100 employees.
Wow. Okay.
And currently we're operating, as I said, in 11 states.
Based here in Houston.
We're based here in Houston, but our employees live all around the country. We did remote before COVID.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we have a very fierce culture.
And what makes you use that's a charged word. I love it. By the way.
It's fierce.
Yeah. What causes you to use that word in describing your culture?
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So I have to start with the word RockStep.
Okay.
RockStep is not a word in the dictionary, but it is a dance move. Okay.
Okay.
So if you know what swing dancing is or ballroom dancing,
Sure.
you RockStep on count 7 and 8 when you switch direct. I'm gonna do it for you. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I, mean,
No,
I
stay
don't,
right
know-
there.
I don't know if our
No, I'm
strings
gonna-
will be big enough.
I'm gonna be low. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rock step. Like ball pivot chain.
Okay.
So at your wedding, if you were ballroom dancing, you were rock stepping on count 7 and 8. So we use the rock step as a metaphor for being nimble, being responsive, listening to the music in the industry. And so at our company, Chris, we use it as a verb. Hey, we got an opportunity. We need a rock. We got a problem. We got a rock step, guys. And so everybody at the company, everyone in my family, we use it. We use it as a verb to RockStep to be able to switch directions quickly, be responsive. Second, I wrote a list of 25 behaviors, specific behaviors that I am passionate to the mat, tears about. And we call these behaviors
Core values.
no,
No.
you failed. We call them RockSteps. Okay.
RockSteps. Okay.
You completely blew it, Chris. Okay. You didn't do your homework. So we have a RockStep of the week. So every 25 weeks, we have a ritual where all 100 people get on the phone, get on a Teams call at 10 o'clock on Monday, and we talk about the RockStep of the week.
Okay.
Here's a list of them all. We're in RockStep number 12. Be easy to work with.
Be easy to work with.
Yes.
Open right to it.
So at 10 o'clock
I
this
love
week,
this.
somebody wrote an essay. One of our employees wrote an essay, and they talk about what does it mean personally, professionally to be easy to work with. And then they call at random 2 or 3 other people. Hey, Chris, what does it mean for you to be easy to work with? When have you been in an environment where you've been around people who haven't been easy to work with? And it's the ritual and language we use. Next week is RockStep 13. Bring it every day. What does it mean, Chris, to bring it every day in your personal life and your professional life? If you were going to interview at RockStep, you have to come to the interview. What are your favorite 3 and why? What are your most challenging 3 and why? So to come to RockStep, you better be good, we hope, at what you do, leasing, property management, accounting, whatever. To stay at RockStep, you got to follow these.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'll go through mine, my favorite 3 and my most challenging 3. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Great. RockStep number 1, go take a look. It's one of my favorites. Do the right thing always.
Yeah.
We're in the investment business.
Love that.
We're in the investment. It's a world of gray. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You got to figure it out. You got to clean up that world of gray. RockStep number 3, be punctual. On time is 5 minutes early. And if you're on time, you're late.
Right.
It's about courtesy. RockStep 24. Got to go in the back.
Get on the back.
Keep family first.
Amen.
You have to take care of your health. You have to take care of your family before you take care of RockStep. Most challenging, RockStep number 4. Be a fanatic about response time. A little hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Sitting here, I'm not responding to emails.
Right.
Okay?
You're pulled a bunch of different ways.
Pulled a bunch of different ways. It's a challenge. RockStep 7. Listen generously. You know my wife, Meredith. Meredith would confirm that I have issues here. I'm impatient. I'm thinking sometimes when you're talking about what I want to say.
Sure. Natural.
I do think women probably listen better than men. Okay.
Yeah.
I believe that. RockStep 25. Keep things fun. Okay. So Meredith, my wife, would say, Andy, you take the fun out of fun. So I will tell you, I'm very serious. Very serious. I'm very happy on the inside, Chris. Just want you to know that.
Well, I believe that.
Okay.
Right.
And Meredith is very happy on the outside. She's a little bit nervous on the inside. We balance each other out.
I will tell you that anyone that will stand up in a podcast and do a RockStep dance move is fun. I mean,
Will you tell her that next time you see her?
Absolutely.
Anyway, I wanted to go into that because we have people from Blackstone, Brookfield, CBL, some of the big institutional real estate companies. And I believe that one of the reasons they come and one of the reasons they stay is because we take this stuff seriously. Now, we're not perfect. People can hold us accountable, but it's how we build trust.
Yep.
It's how we resolve conflict. It's how we want to become the best performing team we can be. And we want to ritualize it. We want to use the language. We want to challenge each other. We want to hold each other accountable to specific behaviors.
Yeah.
And I wrote every one of these and I go to the mat.
I'll tell you, I love the conversation of culture. Heard some great stories about culture. Certainly in the 90 plus
Sure.
episodes I've done in this podcast, but just in general conversations, yours just went to the top of the list by a long shot.
Yes.
This is remarkable stuff.
Thank you.
I knew when you used the word fierce, it was going to be good because you don't use that word if you can't back it up.
Yeah.
But these 25 RockSteps and how you use them every week and focus everyone is remarkable. I mean, it's just really fascinating. I can't wait to read these more.
You need to look at them. Tell me your favorite 3 and your most challenging 3. You don't have to, but that would be good if you could.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, And then what you said in there that I want to make sure we go back to, because I think it's so important in building a good company, is that you hire from your cultural foundations and you, I would assume, fire from them.
Absolutely. Now, the challenge is that you can't sort for that when you hire. I
Right.
mean, all of us know that you try to be the best, you try to ask the right questions, you try to do the test. The
Right.
reality is, until you live with someone, you really don't know what they're like.
Right.
That's the truth.
It's the truth. I mean,
Okay, that's the
other than the
truth.
obvious, right? Some come in and you're like, this isn't going anywhere.
Well, wait, yeah, but if they check the boxes on their skill set
Yeah.
and they talk the talk here, and you do your research and you reference check, you still never know.
That's right.
You don't know.
I tell people it's the hiring process is more art than science.
Yeah.
And you won't know till you get the person in your environment
You don't know. Correct.
and in a position where there's some stress.
Correct.
So this could not have happened overnight. I guess it just developed over a period of time.
I made a list of with our executive team, our leadership team, the behaviors that create excellent that create a top performing. We just put on the board 100 ideas.
Yeah.
And then narrowed it down to the 25 that meant most to me. Okay. In
Mhm.
other words, it's mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things that I am passionate about, things I will go to the mat on. And then I wrote out the wording. The words are important.
Yeah.
And so at 10 o'clock, somebody reads the exact words out loud to everybody, the 2 or 3 sentences, and then they summarize their essay.
Yeah.
And the essay has to be something personal, not AI, although some people use AI.
Right.
But it's got to be something personal about them in their personal lives and in their personal lives as it relates to their professional lives as well.
Amazing. So love it all. And I can't wait to read them more, as I said. Shifting gears a little bit, your roots are in Texas. I'd be curious to know kind of how you how you perceive being able to be in Texas to start this business and then grow from there has benefited you and the company.
Sure. So let's talk about Houston and talk about Texas. We should all be grateful that we live in Texas and that we live in Houston.
Yeah.
My
For sure.
business takes me all around the country. I visit markets. Our investors are throughout the country. I visit, and you think back, what a great city we have. What a great place we have. What a spirit of community, a spirit of business, quality of life, the ability to go to the movie theater without blowing your brains out.
Yeah.
You can run to the cleaners. Grocery stores are accessible. The basics of life are really good here. And people are friendly. People want you to succeed. It's a good place for a family. It's a good place for business. Houston's reputation is not known as a pretty city. It's basically a
Agreed.
retention pond. That's what it is. It
Right.
collects water.
Right.
Okay. But in terms of quality of life, it's outstanding.
And I do think our developers are
Yeah.
in Houston, which I think we're blessed to have so many
Sure.
good real estate developers and city leaders and philanthropic leaders are changing that about Houston not being
Yes.
pretty, right? They may the national
But when I say
narrative may
pretty,
still
it
be there.
doesn't have topography.
True.
It doesn't have
True.
topography.
But we're making it more urban and livable.
Yes, absolutely.
But which I think benefits all of us, right?
Correct.
But I totally agree with your point about city of opportunity
Hmm.
and diverse in so many ways, however you want to use that
Correct.
word, attracts business.
Hmm.
And then I think helps businesses here grow.
Correct.
So it's interesting to get your perspective. You were talking, I guess about all those things, and I guess being in the retail investment world, that creates opportunity for you.
Correct. Now, what's interesting is we don't invest in Houston because we're small town guys.
Yeah.
So we'll invest throughout Texas, but not in Dallas.
Right.
Okay. So we're basically a red state company or a red county in a purple or blue state. We are hometowns. Hometowns
Yes.
are not Atlanta, San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Houston. Those aren't our definition of hometowns. Hometowns are smaller than a million. They could be as small as 100, 200,000,
Sure.
but they have to have something that drives population growth. That's our criteria.
Okay.
You have to have an essential driver. So you have to have either tourism or Fortune 1000 companies or great hospital districts or military government facilities or major universities
Yeah, you
or some
mentioned
combination,
university. Yeah,
that drives population growth.
very good. So you get this going, and then you talked about the fierce culture. How do you uh, go day to day in maintaining that culture and keeping it alive?
Um, I think you have to talk about it a lot. You have to repeat a lot. You have to create rituals, and you have to believe it. Like believe it deep.
Yeah, yeah, in your
Deep.
heart, in your gut.
You got to really believe it.
Yeah, love that. Okay, well, kind of move to a different
Sure.
topic. Always like to talk about innovation.
Okay.
How are you at RockStep incorporating technology and innovation to make you more efficient? And if usually efficiencies create more profit, what are some of the things you think you've implemented over the years to help you accomplish that?
So innovation, there's a lot of places for it, but I'll mention a couple. Um, we have switched from a syndication model to a fund model. And that's a big change in real estate.
No,
So a syndication model is find an opportunity investment, stop, raise your X dollars, spending 4, 6, 8 weeks, just extreme focus,
sure.
and then move on to the next deal 6 months down the road. Stop, that kind of thing. A fund is a different structure. And the reason why we have a fund is that in our business, in our subsector, we operate in grocery, open air, and enclosed malls, which is the Wild West. A lot of distressed assets. The sellers of distressed assets will not allow you to win
Wait.
the bid unless you have committed capital in a
Right.
fund structure.
You don't have time to wait, right? That pause.
They're going to
Yeah.
say, yeah, I'll pay you 25 million, and I'm going to syndicate the deal. They're going to say, no, you're not going to get the deal. So we're moving to a fund structure, which means that you have to have a process of continually reaching out to investors, communicating to investors. We have a CRM. We have things that other companies, and we're a shopping center company. So now we're becoming a sales and marketing effort to have continual fundraising into a fund, because traditionally in real estate, people's pipeline, people's opportunities outpace their ability to raise the equity. And so now we're restructuring so that our fund can outpace the opportunities on the acquisition.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So that's one.
I like that.
Okay. And the second is we operate again in this area of insolvent enclosed malls. Okay. Which is the Wild West. And we've had to learn, how do you deal with this opportunity, and we've had to learn different ways of managing these properties profitably. And so, you know what a cap rate is?
Yes.
You know the cap rate. So, cap rate for shopping centers, yield on cost, is typically 6, 7, 8%. In the enclosed mall sector, cap rates are 15%.
Big
So
difference.
big difference. And so they're very high cash flow properties, but very complex.
Yeah.
And there's lots of opportunities with them. And so we've learned that some malls are great cash flow plays. Some malls, you shrink the amount of retail and you do something else. You redevelop them. Some malls, you sell off the periphery at an arbitrage.
Okay.
Buy something for 15 cap, sell a restaurant in front for 5 cap. So in other words, there's different, we had to learn how you can create value depending upon the market, the tenancy, the physical asset, et cetera.
Makes sense. So each market's different,
Yeah.
and you got to get in and roll up your sleeves and figure out
Yeah.
what that difference is and what's going to make it work.
And what's happened in real estate in the last 3 years in particular is that the rise of interest rates has just changed the whole structure of commercial real estate.
Sure.
It has.
Yeah.
And so most people who've invested in real estate have invested some in office, but primarily in multifamily. Okay. And then to a lesser extent, industrial. So of the four asset classes, multifamily is number one, industrial is number two, office used to be next to it,
Sure.
and then retail was dead last.
Right.
Okay. So what's happened is interest rates have put a squeeze on multifamily and industrial, and the retail sector, the shopping center sector, is the place for yield today because you have positive leverage. Positive leverage means your cap rate is higher than the interest rate on your debt and sometimes significantly higher.
Yeah.
So you get yield straight out of the box.
It's great.
No pun
Because
intended.
yeah, but a lot of people, you hear a lot of people stay away from retail.
Mhm.
Although I just recently was reading, going back to Houston, apparently Houston, through I think it was Lee and Associates,
Okay.
reported that Houston was the number 2 city for retail construction right now, with almost 4 million square feet under construction.
It's starting to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
But generally, what's happened in retail is that Amazon and COVID killed the weak guys.
Yeah.
And those that survive, they have their own e-commerce strategy. They're able to compete and hold market share and grow market share against Amazon, and they got a great balance sheet. And so they're telling Wall Street, we want 50 new stores this year, or 200 new stores. But except for places like Houston a little bit, generally there's very little new retail construction around the country.
Yeah.
So that's why retail has been more in favor. I was on a panel yesterday up in New York with the head of WAFRA, which is the, I think it's the Emirates Sovereign Fund. I mean, big dogs. They're betting big in our sector because of those issues. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk about kind of what are some of the challenges you see for your business, given economics that are out there, the economic trends that are going on. What are you kind of seeing that you're going to have to navigate through?
Well, right now we've got, we have we see a lot of opportunity
Yeah.
in what we do, which is hometowns.
Yeah.
Okay. There's opportunities to buy assets that produce the kind of returns we're looking for our investors. I think the challenge is always construction costs. Will tariffs make construction materials even more expensive?
Sure.
Okay. Will tariffs create more inflation and slow down retail sales? So retail sales the last 3 years have gone up about this level, but and that's dollar sales, but the actual unit sales have stayed flat.
So
because inflation of goods.
Right.
Okay. And the consumer is stressed.
Yep. Lots
It's
out there
It's
on that.
hard to believe there's not a recession. The signals out there that we're hearing and we're seeing, our touch points show stress in the consumer. It is.
Yeah.
And somebody making $50,000-$60,000 a year, paying more for whatever at the grocery store is a real issue.
It's a real issue. Less discretionary spending, which can impact retail.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I mean, there's definitely, as you said, all the elements of a recession around, yet we don't seem to find
The
ourselves
stock
in one.
market doesn't say it.
Right.
But
so it's somewhat
but
baffling.
It is somewhat baffling. And we're not betting interest rates are going to go down. We're not.
Certainly not dramatically.
Okay.
Yeah. But and there's a lot of political, hockey going on around that too.
Absolutely.
Let's a little bit about just leadership in general, and maybe kind of lessons learned. I believe strongly in we learn a lot along the journey, but it's usually some of the mistakes we made where we learn our biggest lessons. Anything that you can think of and kind of that in starting RockStep or along the way that you could share that kind of tells that story.
I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned in life is that you cannot live without consequences. And in our family business Weiner stores, we had two parts of the business, and one part had a strategy of dealing with inventory that wasn't effective, and it produced paper gains, but sent signals to our customer that were negative.
Mm.
And we weren't operating effective enough in terms of inventory management, inventory is retail. That's what it's about.
Sure.
That's what it's about. And as a result, we couldn't compete with Walmart. Even if we were perfect, we might not have been able to compete with Walmart.
Right.
But we were heading down, and we couldn't correct the strategy. So if there are things happening in your life and in your business that are negative, you can't live without the consequences. They're going to happen.
Right.
It's a fact.
Yes. I mean,
It's a
life's
fact.
about consequences. We make choices.
It is a fact.
Not all consequences are bad, right?
Correct.
But you just have to know there's going to be consequence.
It's a fact.
I think one of the things that as a leader you have to learn, and maybe it goes back to the Weiner story, is if that strategy or decision is starting to create negative consequences, how do you adjust?
Well, you
And make a
try to
shift.
correct it. And if you have a roadblock that you cannot overcome, you're stuck.
Yep.
You're stuck. You either have to exit or you go down with everybody.
Yeah. And it's certainly, I guess, in the retail world that your family business was in, that's kind of what happened with big box retail coming in.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are certain strategies of pricing in retail there's two strategies. There's what is called high-low, and there's everyday low pricing. High-low is market high and then promote it aggressively every weekend to get people to come in. Kroger, Kohl's, Penny's. Market high, drive traffic through promotion. The other way is everyday low pricing. Walmart, H-E-B, Neiman Marcus, Saks. I mean, that's everyday low pricing. They don't run promotions, okay, to drive traffic. And what's happened in clothing retail is that there is a winning strategy that has won, and that's the off-price strategy. So the TJ Maxx, they have different divisions, Ross, Burlington Coat, it's now Burlington, Nordstrom Rack. This 20,000 square foot store, collection of off-price goods, has a markup that is pretty standard. It has a markdown cadence that's very refined. And as a result, they can turn their merchandise 5-6 times a year. Our company was turning our merchandise twice a year.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And so it's TJ Maxx can do $10 or $12 million in a store, 20,000 feet next to a Dillard's or a Macy's of 100,000, 120,000 feet doing the same volume. In a capital structure inside a box that takes very little money to keep it fresh 5 or 10 or 15 years from now. A Dillard's or a Macy's might need 5-10 million of refresh dollars for new carpet, just a refresh, and there's not enough profit to keep the store refreshed.
Yeah.
And so over time, the lower volume department stores go out of business.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's what you're saying, for sure. What advice would you give to entrepreneurs out there now, or maybe an aspiring entrepreneur, to encourage them, but maybe give them caution of if you're going to do it, or maybe if you were going to do it again, what are the one or two things that you would say? Here's my words of wisdom.
In terms of business words of wisdom, or
I would say, let's say business words, and maybe in the context of inspiration to do it, but just be aware that this could be around the corner, or how to be ready for that.
I'm not exactly sure how to answer that, but I will tell you that the advice I give is you've got to be gritty. You've got to dig in. You've got to work harder than other people. Got to show up earlier. You've got to work later, and you've got to work hard, especially when no one's looking.
Right?
Especially when no one's looking.
Yeah.
Okay. And that I can tell who's gritty and who's not. You
Right.
can tell. You can tell. I know
Yeah.
you can. Okay.
Yeah.
And so having this passion might not be the right word, but this habit of giving all, learning as much as you can, is how you succeed in whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay. The second thing I would tell you is I tried this. Am I perfect? No. But I want Act Two to be more important than Act One. Okay.
Okay.
In a play, Act Two is always more important than Act One. That's where the things happen.
Right.
And even though I give a lot of energy and passion at the workday, when I get home, that is my Act Two. And Act Two is more important in my life. There is nothing more important to me than Meredith. And my kid, nothing. Meredith's number one. And I need to have the energy and focus and commitment to make sure in my life and everybody's life that Act Two is always more important than Act One.
That's great stuff, Andy. I really like that. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
And so, now before we wrap up, just a couple light questions.
Sure.
What do you do to decompress, recharge so that you can bring that energy and passion?
Look, I love the Astros. I love to watch TV with Meredith and watch our shows. I will tell you that I have a little bit quirkiness related to Chick-fil-A, if I could share that.
Okay. Yeah.
So you know of nobody that eats Chick-fil-A more than me. For breakfast, 6 days a week, lunch, 7 days a week, part of dinner, 4 days a week. I have Chick-fil-A. I brought it here. It's in the fridge.
Okay.
And the fridge is over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's I had it for lunch. I had it for breakfast, and I'm having it for dinner.
Every day?
6 days a week for breakfast,
Right.
7 for lunch, and 4 for dinner. And I am a Chick-fil-A One member. Okay.
I didn't know that existed.
I didn't either. About a year and a half. I've been invited to their headquarters for a tour. Meredith and I are going there in 3 weeks to their tour, their headquarters in Atlanta, and I have a Chick-fil-A diet.
So do you go to the same Chick-fil-A?
I go to 3184.
Okay.
3184 is by my office in the Heights. They do 220 cars an hour through the drive-through. They're building a third drive-through. They'll do 300 cars an hour. I know their volume. I know their average ticket sales. They are a machine.
And they know you.
They do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but then maybe the biggest question that I have and anyone listening is, how do you do lunch 7 days a week when they're closed on Sunday?
I shop. I go there Saturday morning and I buy 2 salads. I put one in the fridge for Sunday.
Okay.
Okay. So, by the way, it's quirky. It's a little bit bizarre. It is bizarre. So anyway, that's
you always order the same thing?
the same thing. Exactly.
Okay.
It's just habit.
Uh,
I'm into habit.
I
Okay.
apparently, 'cause
Okay.
that one
It-
takes the cake.
It is bizarre. It is bizarre.
Well,
Okay.
so that last question I want to ask, I think is going to just fall off the table dead, because I've asked every guest on the podcast, do you prefer Tex-Mex or barbecue?
Boy, I would say Tex-Mex. El Tiempo probably is my favorite.
Okay.
I mean, it's right over here.
Right.
I
So
love
one of those
Tex-Mex.
3 dinners might,
No,
it's not Tex-Mex.
But again, dinner. When I said dinner 4 days a
Right,
week,
you left
but
3.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's right.
I'm bad. I'm bad. Bad. Okay. So
You got to be somewhere.
got to be somewhere.
So, that's great. Well, Andy, thank you so much
Sure.
for sharing your story.
Oh my
the
God, it
story of
was fun.
RockStep, and really, such a unique story, and I will always remember the fierce culture.
All right. You got to remember the RockSteps.
I'm going to do that as well. So
Okay.
thanks again.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you.
That's it for this episode of Building Texas Business. Don't forget to check out the show notes at BoyerMiller.com/podcast for insights and resources from today's conversation. Learn more about how Boyer Miller can help your business grow at BoyerMiller.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.